The other name that everyone expected to be on the outs, Pete Carroll. As expected, out after 1 year with head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. They had to do something. It was not sustainable. The season was a complete and total disaster. And someone, and we'll assume that Pete Carroll was at least one of the someones, grossly misevaluated the Raiders roster. They thought they were going to be better than they were, as evidenced by the fact that they saw fit to bring in a veteran quarterback, Geno Smith, who would presumably be plugged in to make the team take off and compete in a top-heavy, except for what happened with the Chiefs, AFC West. The decision to use a top 10 pick on running back Ashton Genty, that's an icing on the cake move. They didn't have the cake. You don't build a team from the outside in. You have to build it from the inside out. You bring in Genty when you think you have everything else in place. They had nothing else in place but for Max Crosby, whom they've alienated, and Brock Bowers, who they possibly are in the process of alienating based upon what they do moving forward. So Carroll absolutely had to go. He had to. The question is, what else will they do? Will John Spytek, the GM, be safe? Currently he is. He goes back to Tampa, and really prior to that with Tom Brady. They've known each other for a long time. And I think folks in the building have done a pretty good job of blaming the disaster of 2025 on Pete Carroll. But now it's time to move forward. And Tom Brady has managed, I think by virtue of the fact that he wears so many different hats, or as the case may be, gloves or glove, he doesn't get the criticism he should. He was brought in to stabilize the organization. Owner Mark Davis said so himself. Brady got a slice of the team at a below market rate, in part because Davis is buying Tom's expertise. Remember last year, the Las Vegas Review-Journal reported that this is Tom's show now. That was a year ago. If it was really a show, it would be canceled. It was a mess, and Brady somehow has avoided the blame for it. Not many. I know I'm one of them, and I'm sorry. We have to call it like we see it. This is partially Brady's fault. He's the one who's pressing buttons, and he's the one who's choosing not to go all in. I've said for weeks now, Brady's got to go all in or all out. You can't do this job halfway. We'll see how much time he spends on it going forward. He's still got 3 more weeks of his primary job at $37.5 million per year as the #1 game analyst at Fox. They'll have a wild card game. They'll have a division round game. They'll have a conference championship game. And then he can give his full focus to the team. How much of his full focus will they get? And what will he want to do? There is a rumor making the rounds. I wrote about this yesterday. And look, you either want hard news or you want to have an idea of where the ball may be going. People get upset when they get something that isn't complete and ready and 100%. Well, I'm telling you what I'm hearing from people I've known for years and that I trust. I've been doing this 25 years. I'm plugged into some of these circles where things are happening. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but a possible Patriot Way reunion makes a ton of sense if it would happen. Brian Flores is head coach. Brian Daboll is offensive coordinator. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I am saying that there's talk around the league of it possibly going down. And when you think about it, the most obvious choice to get the band back together in Las Vegas would be Josh McDaniels as head coach. But been there, done that. It's unfortunate they already did that, or McDaniels would get his opportunity now. Not that it would go any better, but he would be the guy that Tom Brady would be looking at. So Belichick clearly isn't going to be an option, even though they say all the right things. That relationship is broken beyond repair, I believe, between Brady and Belichick. So Flores or Daboll, either one. But Flores is the head coach. Daboll is the offensive coordinator. I guess in theory, Daboll is the head coach. Flores is the defensive coordinator because he's a free agent, even though his contract may not have expired upon the completion of the final game in Minnesota. There's no more work to be done. It's just a question of where he's going to be next year. So keep an eye on that as a possibility. Whatever they do, though, Tom Brady has to take ownership of this because he literally has ownership of the team, and the owner has made it clear. that Tom Brady has stepped into the spot that John Gruden used to occupy. Davis said it last year. See, we can reside in a world of facts or we can reside in a world of appearances. Brady has created the appearance that he's just kind of a part-time drive-by, don't blame me. Now, if they were doing well, he'd be front and center. He'd be wearing that white Raiders jumpsuit everywhere he goes if the Raiders were the number 1 seed in the AFC. But since they stink, nope. Now, he never says it. It's just the appearance he creates. And we know how important appearances are. Think back to the Monday night game against the Chargers. They show Brady on the screen, sitting in the booth with the tablet, with the headset. He hits the button, he slides down, doesn't want to be noticed there. Whether that's because it crystallized the previously underestimated significance of the conflict of interest that he has, or maybe he just doesn't want to be associated as closely with the Raiders while they stink as he should be. But the bottom line is, this is his show. Whatever happens next is on him, because what happened last year is on him. Few may be willing to say it. I'll say it. The mess of 2025 is on him. Pete Carroll can be fired. An owner cannot be fired. Brady is the one who's got to fix this. We'll see what Brady does next. We'll see what Carroll does next. It's probably the end of the road. Some were surprised he got the opportunity to come back. I fully supported it, but we had to understand what it was. This wasn't a quick fix. Why did anyone think the Raiders were going to be good? They just get in a room together and they get themselves all excited and they gloss over the various flaws in the roster and they think they can rah-rah their way through it. Now, that's on Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wasn't as objective about the team as he should have been. No one was as objective about the team as they should have been. I didn't expect them to be the worst team in football, and frankly, they've had competition over the last 5 weeks from the Jets. But the Raiders were a mess. Removing Pete Carroll is the easy part. The harder part is fixing whatever is wrong with the Raiders, because you've still got the Broncos, you've still got the Chargers, and the Chiefs are not going to be gone for very long. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.